In the last video, I gave you some examples of companies that have built very successful brands. In this video, I want to tell you about some individuals who've built very successful personal brands. And I've picked out three current individuals to show you as a good example of how you can make the most out of your personal brand. And the first one is Marie Forleo, and you can read all about her at her website here, marieforleo.com. And Marie Forleo is an American life coach, a motivational speaker, an authoress, and a web television host. She's the owner of Marie Forleo International, B School, and Marie TV. And she's done lots of different things off the back of her blog. Here she wrote a book in 2008 that's been republished in 11 different languages. She's founded a business coaching practice which focuses on small business and personal development training for entrepreneurs. She speaks to young entrepreneurs. She mentors young entrepreneurs with the help of people like Sir Richard Branson. And she's spoken at Life is Beautiful conference in 2014, and she's done lots and lots of different things, all in the same sort of niche, but all off the back of her blog here. If I scroll down, you can see some of the things that she talks about here. You've got some of her entries here on her blogs, a mental exercise that can turn wishes into reality, who else influences your customers, value what you do, a must watch for artists and creators, and so on. And she's got all this information here on her blog, and her success really has been built off the back of her website and off the back of her blog. The next one I want to show you is Taylor Swift, the singer, and you can read all about her at her website here, which is taylorswift.com. And at the time that I'm making this video, she's promoting her 1989 world tour. And in addition to being an award-winning singer and having sold multi-million numbers of albums and so on, she also makes a lot of money by combining her own personal brand or trading off her own personal brand in association with other companies, or lending herself her own personal brand to other companies in a win-win situation. So for example, she's been the face of the Verizon wireless mobile music campaign. She's launched a sundress range at Walmart. She's designed American greetings cards and Jakks Pacific dolls. She became a spokesperson for the NHL's Nashville Predators and Sony Cybershot digital cameras. She performed in a commercial for the band Hero video game, and she released a special edition of her album through Target. Her album Speak Now, there was a special edition which you could only get through Target, which is a big retailer in the US. She's become a CoverGirl spokesmodel. She's launched 2 Elizabeth Arden fragrances, and she's done lots of different things in addition to being a singer. So she's trading on her personal brand in association with other companies who want to be associated with her to sell their merchandise, and it becomes a win-win situation for everybody. Another one I'll show you here is Roger Federer, which is rogerfederer.com. And Roger Federer is of course a very famous tennis player, but he also makes a lot of money by trading off his own personal brand, and he does this in association with some of his sponsors, people like Wilson tennis rackets, Nike footwear and apparel, and also some Swiss companies like National Suisse, Credit Suisse, Rolex, Lindt. And he also has deals with companies like Mercedes-Benz and Gillette, Moët Chandon, and he was previously an ambassador for NetJets. And he also has other things that he does as well. For example, you've got the Roger Federer shop, you can see here, which if I look here, you can see you can buy things in the Roger Federer shop that have his logo on them. You can buy t-shirts and caps and autographed items, office equipment, leather goods. Each purchase from here goes to support the Roger Federer Foundation, which empowers underprivileged children. And you can see, if I scroll down a bit, that they help underprivileged children, mainly in sub-Saharan Africa. You can see in places like Zambia and Botswana, Namibia, South Africa, and so on. And so he's using his own personal brand as a way of helping others and a way of empowering people who cannot empower themselves. And of course, another thing about your own personal brand is it can live on after you. And a good example of this is the late Fred Perry. Let me just show you Fred Perry here. And Fred Perry won 3 consecutive Wimbledon championships in the 1930s. He won it in 1934, 1935 and 1936. But these days he's probably better known for this, the Fred Perry line of sportswear. And it all began in the late 1940s when Perry was approached by Tibby Wegner, an Austrian football player who'd invented an antiperspirant device worn around the wrist. And Perry made a few changes and created the first sweatband, which of course now just about every athlete, particularly every tennis player, wears. And Wegner's next idea was to produce a sports shirt, and it was launched at Wimbledon in 1952, and the Fred Perry tennis shirt was an immediate success. And just like with the brands we were talking about in the last video, like Coca-Cola and like Land Rover, this became an aspirational brand. It became a brand that was associated with a lifestyle. And even though Fred Perry died 20 years ago, the brand still lives on and still continues to this day. You can still buy it from the website here, fredperry.com. So when you're building your personal brand, you want to bear in mind that once you've got it established, you can then go on to do other things, because other brands will want to be associated with you, and of course your brand can live on after you're gone. So just a few things to bear in mind when you're building your personal brand.